never not, never under ya, never ever, I'm forever on. Check my repertoire, check my repertoire, don't check me nah. Let's just checks involved. I've been feeling like I'm next to God, next to God, next to God. Never not, never under ya, never ever, I'm forever on. Check my repertoire, don't check me nah. Let's just checks involved. I've been feeling like I'm next to God, next to God, next to God. Never fold, never ever fold, never ever stone a Rolling Stone till I'm in Rolling Stone. Bet I'm close to God.
So my wife and I spent this last weekend in Cheyenne, Wyoming. We had a great time, and while we were there, we got a chance to get on the mat at Black Label Jiu-Jitsu with Devin Henry and his crew. Always a fantastic time, but this weekend they were hosting a seminar for Professor Rick Ellis. He's been in a couple of the videos on this channel. He's also got a great channel, The Art of Skill, absolutely worth taking a look at. Professor Rick took everybody through some open guard passing variations and some details that he uses to really tighten things up and kind of really create good pressure and be able to pass guard nice and smooth, and along with that, some combinations and things you can do to get to some finishes and that kind of stuff as well. Super fun, super great, but you're probably wondering, why is this video about moving to a new town? Well, at the end of the session, Rick held a Q&A, and among the questions, somebody asked about one of his videos about putting together combinations and getting things to flow together, and how you train that, and if you train it all the time, or you do certain things for a certain amount of time, that kind of stuff. Rick's answer to this question really hit home for me. It's probably the biggest thing that I took home, and it's just an analogy. It's an analogy that matches things that we probably already know and think about, but it hit in a way that really stood out to me. And what he talked about was that your game is like moving into a new town. He says, so you start in jiu-jitsu, and of course, I'm paraphrasing, he might have a video up of this here later this week. I know he's already got his open guard passing video. If you want to see the stuff we worked on, there's a video right up here. You can link to go check that out. But he's talking about starting your game is like moving into a new town. First, you're just trying to get the lay of the land, figure out where the landmarks are. Okay, that's where the McDonald's is. That's where Trader Joe's is. That's where the hardware store is. You know, the different things that you've got to know about to just kind of figure out how do you get around town, and just start familiarizing yourself with what's there, what you might need, how to get there, and how to orient yourself around. But over time, you figure out, okay, how to get from one to the other. And then along the way, you start to figure out what things are around those things, or the paths that you like to take. Maybe you like to take a different road, or this one way to get there that saves you a little bit of time, or it's on your way from this place to that place. And you start kind of figuring out how to maneuver and how to get to places more efficiently, and get to the places that you like to go, the things that you like to do. How do you get to those, and what's the easiest way for you to get there? And this analogy, I think, is perfect. This idea that when you first start, you're learning techniques, you're learning positions, mount, guard, side control, back, all these places that you need to be. So there's your major landmarks in this new town you're living in. So then along the way, you start to learn these ways to transition into those positions, how to get from one to the other. So you're figuring out your main routes. Maybe you're taking the main roads to get there. But along the way, you start picking up ways that you can get there from other places, or ways that get you there a little bit faster, or they don't maybe get you there faster, but when you get there, it's just a little bit better. It was the better way to get there. So over time, you start to get to put together this idea of how these things work together, how your techniques go, the techniques you like to use, and how you get to them. How do you get to them from your house? How do you get to them from work? How do you get to them from the store? How do you get to these different places, right? How do you get there? How do you like to get there? What's the most efficient? What gets it done the best? That analogy I really, really like. Your ability in the art that you train goes from not knowing anything or anybody to, oh yeah, I know this great little spot. You'd never find it if you didn't live here, but I'm going to show you how to get there. Here's the way. And that's what it's like anytime that we go to these seminars and we get to learn a little bit more about stuff that we're probably already doing. We did guard passing. You have to do guard passing pretty much right away when you start doing jiu-jitsu. One of the videos that I had, one of the first times I trained with Rick in a private lesson, was guard passing. And this was totally different stuff that we did, but it was still passing guard, and it was still something familiar, but something that a local could tell me how to get there, and different ways that I might want to take, and different reasons I might want to take them. That was the most useful advice I came away with. Yeah, we worked a bunch of technical stuff, drilled it, and it was great. I really enjoyed that. I felt like I got a lot out of that. But the biggest takeaway for me was how to move into a new town and why that matters. While I was there, I got to see a purple belt demo for Mike Bean under Devin Henry, and that was fantastic. I hadn't got a chance to see one in person yet. It was really enjoyable to see that, especially in conjunction with this little piece of advice. Because at purple belt in the Roy Dean Academy, one of the things you got to do is put together some combinations that you demonstrate and work. And combinations are exactly that. How do you take your paths through town? What things do you like to chain together through your day? And that was really great to watch. Mike did an amazing job. I'm sure there'll be a video of his demo up soon. I'll try to link that down in the description and share it when it comes out. It was especially great for me to get to see that because I'm in the process of building my own demo. I hadn't seen one of those in person yet, but in the meantime, I'm working on my own demo that I'll be doing with Devin here, hopefully in October. So probably going to be some videos of that too, so hope you look forward to that. Subscribe so you know when that comes out. You can kind of see how that went for me and what that was like. Try to leave links for everybody, Rick and Devin and everybody down in the video description so you can check out what they're doing. If you're in Cheyenne, be sure to stop by and see Black Label Jiu-Jitsu. Get to work with Devin and his wife Charlotte. They do jiu-jitsu, they do kickboxing. Everything they're doing is top notch. And if you make it that far, you might as well shoot on over into Casper so that you can come visit Casper Dojo, which is my dojo. And anybody who watches this channel is always welcome on the mat. If you made it this far, you should probably drop down to the video description in order to see some of the other stuff that I'm working on, things that you might be interested in, or go grab some of this old school kenfuTV merch. I always appreciate that, supports the channel. I hope that this was helpful to you. Rick's advice was incredibly helpful to me, and I just kind of wanted to share that maybe epiphany with you. I'm Ken, and this is kenfuTV, and I'll catch you next time.